All right, we are going to do board practice. So I'm going to work this first one with you, and then I'm going to have you pause and work the next one. Okay, so here's the first example. Go ahead and write it down. If you need to pause at any time, I'm just going to keep teaching. Okay, so the first thing you want to do on a problem like this is get your like terms on each side together. So those two are like terms, and these two are like terms. So I want to get those together first. I would do that just to minimize things. So this is plus 6n equals 1 minus 8n, because it's a negative 1 and a negative 7. So now these are on opposite sides, okay? So I'm going to either need to minus the 6 or add the 8, because I'm going to do the opposite operation. So if I add 8n, and you could have went the other way, it doesn't matter. If I add 8n to both sides, then those cancel, and I would have a negative 13. I probably should have boxed these so that didn't look like I was dividing. I got to get those together, okay? And so now this would be negative 13 plus 14n equals 1. So now that I have my variables on the left side, I would take, and I'm going to do add 13 to get my numbers on the right side. So if I add 13, that cancels, and I get 14n equals 14. And so now I need to solve just for the n. So I know 14 n's are worth 14. So how much is each n worth? Well, each n is worth 1. So my answer on this is 1. Okay, so what I would like you to do right now, this is example 2. I would like you to write this down, and then I want you to pause and work it, and then I will work it and you can watch. So pause. All right, so same thing that I just did. These are on opposite sides, so then you have to move them. So I could add 6x or add 2x. It really doesn't matter. So a lot of kids like to always put their variables on the left. So if I add 2x, I would have a negative 4x plus 3x equals 8. Well, if I look at this carefully, these are like terms, right? So that would give me a negative 1x equals 8. So now a negative 1x equals 8, so I would divide by a negative 1, and my answer is a negative 8. Now, you might have done things differently from the beginning, but if you get an answer of a negative 8, then what you did was fine. All right, so I'm going to work this one with you, and then I'm going to have you try the next one on your own. So once you have parentheses, you've got to take care of that first. So the first thing I'm going to do is negative 14 minus 8x equals a negative 14 minus 42x. Okay, so if I look, I have x's on opposite sides. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 42x because now they'll be on the same side. 42x. So this is a negative 14. 42 minus 8 is plus 34x equals a negative 14. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my numbers to the other side. So I'm going to add 14 and add 14. We had one of these on the worksheet from yesterday, and kids were getting confused because it equals 0. So, but when you divide, you would have 0 divided by 34, so my answer is 0. So you actually end up with your answer being 0. So here is example 4. Again, I want you to pause and work it, and then we'll go over it. So pause. The one thing we talked about yesterday, and I know you weren't here, but you would have a baby 1 in front of there. So you got to take care of those parentheses first, and you're actually multiplying in by 1. So a negative 1. So that would become a positive 8m. I put 9, sorry. Positive 8m minus 4. These are like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and just put them together because they're on the same side. So negative 11 plus 7m equals 14m minus 4. Okay, so now I have everything on opposite sides, and so you kind of just start getting used to it. I want to get my m's together, so I'm going to minus 14m. Those cancel, and I get a negative 11 plus a negative 7m equals a negative 4. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to move my number to the other side. So I'm going to add 11 and add 11. So I get a negative 7m equals 7. So then you have to divide because you're multiplying. The opposite operation of multiplication, is division. So m equals a negative 1. And that is the answer to this. So that's what you should have gotten. Now, you might have done some things a little bit differently than me, but if you go ahead and pause this and look back through what you did, your answer should be a negative 1. All right, I'm going to go ahead and work this one with you. So the first thing, again, you got to get rid of the parentheses first. Order of operations, you always get rid of the parentheses first. So negative 3 minus 7a minus 21 equals a negative 14 minus 5a. I like to get my like terms together on one side. These are the same, so I'm going to take one extra step to get them together, and then I'll start moving things, because now it's much simpler. So now I'm going to add 5a, I just always move my variables to the left, but you do not have to. So you get a negative 2a minus 24 equals a negative 14. So then I would move my number. So I'm going to add 24, and I'm going to add 24, and I get a negative 2a equals 10. So then I would divide by a negative 2, divide by a negative 2, and a equals a negative 5. So that is example 5. Okay, so again, I would like you to write this problem down, example 6, and I would like you to hit pause, and I would like you to try it on your own and see if you can get it right. So pause. All right, you take care of your parentheses first. So I'd have a negative 6 plus 7m plus 21 equals 27 plus 4m. Again, this is a Miss Williams preference thing. I like to get my like terms together on each side. I don't have any over there because then I don't make any silly mistakes. Those are together. Now I've combined them. And then again, I always move my letters to the left. So that gives me a positive 3m plus 15 equals 27. And then if I move my numbers to the left, then I move my letters, my variables to the left. I'm going to move my numbers to the right. So I get 3m equals 12. And then I would divide by 3. So m would equal 4. So you should have gotten 4 for an answer. Okay, let's take a look at example 7. I'm dividing by 3 over the whole side. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of the 3, and those cancel. So I get x plus 10 equals 15. And then all I have to do is minus 10, and x equals 5. Okay, so last one I would like you to try. I would like you to hit pause, write it down, and try it. Pause. This one is different because I'm not dividing the whole thing by 11 like I was up here. I'm only dividing the x. So in this case, the first thing you're going to do is get rid of the number. You're going to add 8, so you get 1 equals x over negative 11. And the opposite operation of dividing by 11 is going to be to times by a negative 11. So then those cancel, and I get a negative 11 equals x. All right, so your homework is the worksheet that's loaded in there. You need to take pictures of it and send it to me because I am grading it right and wrong. And then I'll tell you which ones you have to go back and redo. So let me know if you have questions.